Hi there, Master Toby Milroy here again, Executive Vice President for AMS, and thanks so much for watching this quick video. I just finished up about 3 days ago a brand new webinar presentation for all of our AMS members on a brand new, very fundamental, big development that Google announced a few weeks ago as it applies to how your martial arts school website should be structured and formatted over the next, certainly few years. And I wanted to make sure that you got that information right away. I wanted to make sure that I shared this with the entire martial arts industry and not just our own members. But basically, here's the shift. In the past, Google would index or look at your website basically in the same way a desktop visitor would, right? Where Google would come to your website and their spider was set to crawl your website on a virtual screen that was 15 inches or bigger, right? So it was looking at your website the way a desktop visitor, the way somebody on a laptop or a desktop would see your website. But as of the 1st of December, Google has started rolling out their mobile first indexing spider. So now as the Googlebot comes by your website, it's not going to be visiting your website like a desktop visitor. It's going to be visiting your website like a mobile device user, okay? So this means a few things. This rollout just started at the beginning of December. I expect that the rollout will be done by the end of the year, possibly even as early as the summertime or back to school season. And here's what that means. That means there are two fundamental pieces of old internet marketing strategy now that will now work against you instead of working for you. Number one is we used to build websites quite a while ago, and if you've been following me or any of my stuff for any period of time, you'll remember that I built my first website back in 1992 on Prodigy Internet, and we've come a long way since then, and strategies continue to change every year, if not more rapidly. But two big pieces of strategy that we used to implement are no longer valid, and in fact can hurt you in the long run. So number one strategy that you want to move away from is a website that scales back, right? So for example, if my website is this wide, if when you visit my site it looks like this, about this wide on your desktop or your laptop, a lot of mobile sites just zoom out and show you the whole website, show you the entire screen, but it's really, really tiny. And then you have to pinch to zoom to see what's going on the screen. That used to be perfectly adequate strategy 5 or 6 years ago. Now is really bad strategy. Has been bad strategy for a couple of years, but now is really bad strategy, right? So you want to make sure your website's not doing that. If you go to your website on your mobile phone, you shouldn't see the whole website really, really, really small, so that you have to zoom in to look around. So that's sort of old bad strategy. The second strategy that used to be a great idea, but now isn't quite so good, is delivering a separate website to mobile visitors. Used to be the best strategy was that we would deliver, if someone was visiting on a mobile phone or a tablet, we would detect that and we would send them to an m.yourdomainname.com website, right? So m.yourmartialartsschool.com instead of just yourmartialartsschool.com. And that's still okay, but Google has made very clear that they're skeptical of that strategy. They're skeptical because many abusers of such system are serving up completely different websites to a mobile user and a completely different website up to its desktop user, and it can sometimes be deceptive. It can sometimes be a disconnect for the user to not really feel familiar or comfortable with the same site. So Google has given guidance, and they often don't do this, but they have in this case. Google has, because users like and users interact with responsive websites at a higher level, Google has indicated that that's the preferred strategy. That's the way they like to index these pages, and that's the most optimum strategy for us today. And what responsive means is basically as your website shrinks in width, the elements on the page just reorganize each other, right? So instead of scaling way down so I can't see them, instead of doing that, if maybe I had 3 columns on my website, as the screen gets narrower, maybe the columns, one would fall below the other and then fall below the next, right? So that when I'm looking at it on a mobile phone or a tablet, I still get a similar experience as on a desktop, but it's formatted appropriately for my device. So that's a very important distinction that we're working on very hard on our side over here. And all of our websites, if you're using an amazing martial arts website, all of our websites are 100% mobile responsive. They have a fluid graph a fluid graph so that all of the elements move around based on the size of your screen, no matter what size it is. So we're all prepared for this. But if you're not quite prepared yet, this is something you really want to take up quickly with your web developer and with the team that's helping you with that. Also, I'm going to be talking a lot about this, about how lots of our clients are using what we call the triangle of trust strategy to drive traffic from Facebook and Pinterest and Google Plus and all of the proverbial social media, primarily Facebook and Pinterest and Snapchat. But how we're driving traffic from those social media to our websites and then converting that traffic into prospects. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that at the upcoming University of Bridgeport Martial Arts Management, ubsummit.com, in just a couple of months on March 26th, Sunday, March 26th is that event. It's a really unique event held at the University of Bridgeport, which is the home of the very first accredited martial arts degree program in the United States. I think there have been others since then, but this was the first in the sort of genesis of that in the United States. So very cool event. If you check out ubsummit.com, you can get all the details. I'd love to see you there. I'm going to be talking a lot about how these social media outlets and using the Facebook ad platform and retargeting platforms are helping our clients generate a lot of traffic to their websites and generate a lot of leads as well. So I hope that all that will be useful for you. Remember, check out ubsummit.com and chat with your web developer right away about whether your website is set up to be mobile responsive yet. If you don't have a developer, if you need somebody to help you with that, we're happy to help you with that over here. Check out amazingmartialartswebsites.com and we can show you how we might be able to help you with that. But hope that's all useful for you. I'm glad you made it, and I'll see you soon.